However, Eric is our data dude. So if you're someone who really needs to look at numbers, you really want to get into the nitty-gritty details of absolutely everything, Eric is your guy. So if you've got any questions, especially after today's session, both James and Eric are going to be in touch with you just to touch base, make sure that they've got everything that you need. And also, if you just to follow up and make sure that if you've got any questions, if you're in the market for buying a property, if you are not sure what to do with your money, or if you're looking at selling your property, then these are the two guys who will hopefully help you make better choices just by their different approaches as well. They're an awesome duo, and I have personally bought from James, so I can definitely attest to his care and concern.
Thank you very much.
But we are not here to just sell you on how wonderful these guys are. Today, we're here to talk about how the property market could potentially be the best investment for you right now, and also why you should be buying now and not waiting for a later point in time, which is what a lot of people tend to think, right, James?
Yes.
Definitely. Okay, so why don't we kick things off? James, the floor is yours, guys. Like I said, if you've got any questions, you can type them in the chat box. We'll answer them as we go along. If you've got any specific things, just direct it to the Home Truth main account or to me so that we can moderate those questions as they come in. James, over to you.
Sure. So thank you, everyone. Thanks for making time today. I know we have the options going out, but you guys are actually here with us for a masterclass. We will get started. I won't hold anyone back because Eric still wants to go drinking after this. So we have to wrap it up very quickly. So today we are actually here to share with you guys on why buy now. The fact that you guys forego dinner and drinks outside to listen to our masterclass means you guys must have a bit of, at the very least, a bit of idea of either buying or selling something. So we don't know, but let's hear today's session on it's more of why you should buy now and not wait for the Ukraine war to end, for something to happen, wait for stock prices to come down. All right, so we'll get started. I need to enable screen sharing. Give me a moment. Okay, can everyone see my screen? Good. All right. So today we are on topic of why buy now. This is the favorite question of almost all buyers. Eric and I, we are a partnership. We have been working together for like good 4 years. So every weekend when we're out together at viewings or show flat, towards the ending, the client will be like, "Ayah, why should I buy now, Eric? You know, why? I think I can wait a bit more." So every weekend we answer this question on why buy now. So we are basically very well versed in this. So let us just share with you on what we say every weekend. All right. Okay, so today we are going to talk about the benefits of buying something today, or rather now, and not versus buying something later. Today's session is going to be in 3 parts. The first part will be demand, which is covered by myself. Eric will cover the second part, which is supply. And of course, the last final part will be buying opportunities ahead in this year. I will give my pick. Eric will give his pick. All right. Okay. So the answer to why buy now, we always tell our clients, why not now? If not now, when? When would you want to buy? Then they'll keep quiet. Then they'll think, oh, wow. Then I say, last year will be good lah. If you can buy last year, prices are still high, but then there's a lot of choices. You can buy north, south, east, west, everything has things to buy. But if you can go back in time, why not go back in 2016? That's one of the lowest prices in recent history. But if we can go back, since we can go back, might as well go back even earlier to way before year 2000. All right, let me just show you guys something. This is one of my favorite piece of land in Siglap area. So this is a corner landed in Siglap.
Hello, Joe. We're going to mute you if you can.
Okay, all good. So this is in 1999, a 3,700 square feet corner terrace was sold for $1.4 million. All right, to give you guys context, Right now on Property Guru, you can see the same thing, Jalan Tanah Puteh, same thing, 3,300 square feet, $5.8 million. So that is roughly more than 4 times of growth in over 22 years. So basically, if you can go back in time, buy sometime before 2000, so these people, chances are they will be the mid-30s in year 2000. So 20 over years later, they should be in the mid-50s to late 50s right now. So these are the 1965 batch. So if you know anyone of your friends or relatives who bought something and they are around mid-50s right now, you know they have made a fair bit of money.
I was going to say that is a shocking number. I mean, that I sit there and I look at it and I'm like, you have to be kidding me.
Yeah, the owner is definitely sitting on gold.
So 1.4 million to 5.8 million. So that's more than 4 times. But of course, people might argue that the real value of 1.4 million in 1999, it will definitely be a lot higher. So our data guy, Eric, what is the real value?
Okay, so go on, Eric. Churn some numbers for us.
Yeah, I know you're going to put me at the spot. Just now I was pressing the calculator 21 times. If let's say we were to do at an inflation rate of 3%, the purchase price probably will be around 2.6 million at today's time.
So 2.6 million to 5.8 million, I think fair price lah.
That's still a tidy profit.
So basically, and this couple that bought then, as of now, they can retire already. They just downgrade to a smaller unit or they cash out. No, they can just retire. Millionaires don't have to spend anything else. But the point of this exercise is to let people know that we can't go back in time unless you have a magic time machine somewhere. If not, we can't go back in time. We can only go forward. So the argument is either buying now or buying in the future. All right. Okay. So this is a bit dry. Normally I let Eric do the boring stuff. I tend not to do this, but this is a module I took in NUS. So this Econs 101, law of demand and supply. So the law of demand and supply is a very big topic that we are talking about today. Because as all of you know, demand and supply would determine price. So the point where demand meets supply over here would determine the prices for almost all products. All right. So firstly, to share, if you have to read the graph, it's a bit different from the normal graph. When we move supply, we move the whole line. We don't go up and down along the same line. We shift the whole line to the left or to the right. So this is how we read the graph. All right. So for example, if demand remains constant, that means there's only one demand line, but supply goes left, meaning there's a drop in supply. You can see that the property prices goes up because of the new intersection point. Understand? Can So it's a bit boring.
Roughly.
Never mind. Boring stuff, end of lesson, very fast. All right. With this concept in mind, we will start today's session on demand and supply. So housing demand in Singapore. Guys, do you think moving forward in the next 2 years, would it be going up or going down? Can you let me know in the chat? Anyone? Up or down?
Okay, write it in the chat box, guys. I want to know up or down. You can write just U or D if you want. We want to see your responses in the chat box. Sarah says going up. Let me know what you think, guys.
Support a bit lah. Neutral. Okay. Up. Thank you everyone. Thanks for responding. Kelly, you didn't respond, Kelly. Okay, so we have a bit of up, we have mostly up, and then one neutral from Norman. All right, so let's see. Okay, so this is BTO. This is data as of 18 February 2022. So these are all the recent launch BTO by the Singapore government. So far, they have launched 3,353 units on offer. In total, we have 6,742 applicants. So it's, if you do your maths, it's slightly more than double. So which means the demand for BTO, HDB BTOs is still strong. Everything is oversubscribed. every single unit type in every single district is oversubscribed. So we can more or less conclude that HDB BTO demand is strong. Next, how about HDB resale? So HDB resale demand, you see handsome boy over here. Handsome
I
boy
think you
here.
slim down a bit.
This is, I think, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Yeah.
Because he's been coming to the gym with us.
Yes. Okay. So this is a unit in five room HDB in Fernvale, Sengkang. So I just sold this last weekend, 1 day of viewing on Friday evening. 6 groups came, 5 groups came, 3 offers. We closed at 655,000. If you notice over here, 655,000, even though my asking price is only 650,000. So the buyers are all desperate for ready to move in houses, especially you can see from pictures, quite a nicely done up house. So as long as you have a HDB right now, which is fairly done up, now you sell, confirm within like 1 weekend, you will sell it already. They are all desperate for move-in houses. They are more than willing to pay COV for it. At 655,000, I am very sure there will be COV involved, cash over valuation involved. All right. So if anyone who have HDB right now want to sell, yeah, call me. Very easy to sell one. All right. Okay, so this is for HDB. So there is definitely an oversubscribed demand for BTO flats. Resale HDB flats enjoy spillover demands. All right, so you can see the HDB applications, BTO applications over the years from 2019 to 2021 went up by 75%. Oops.
Yeah, 2019 to 2021 went up 75%.
BTO 75%, HDB resale went up by 31%. So you can see that HDB demands are still very strong. All right, so now is good time to sell HDB. How about the private sector? So this is the private resale sector. Also, this is an option to purchase done by me recently. This is Edelweiss Park in Loyang, right next to Changi Prison. It's a 3-bedroom, 1,282 square feet unit. I tried selling this unit in December 2020. I remember. So I advertised on Property Guru. A fair bit of people come. They came in. They're like, wow, the living room facing the side wall of the opposite block. They're like, wow, no view, not nice. The wind will be blocked, so very hot. And then, yeah, your bedrooms overlook Changi Prison. Very dangerous. Later got people run out how very dangerous. So that was in December 2020. So this year, early this year in January, we tried to sell it again. Now buyers come in, they see the living room, same thing. They say, wow, very good. Facing the opposite wall, full privacy. Near Changi Prison, wow, very good. 24 hours armed security. So it's like same thing, but same item, same product, but the viewpoint is very different.
That's nuts. I love that. Just that whole shift in mentality is also
Exactly. The shift in mentality, the shift in perception, it's huge. It's really a 360. So this unit valuation at 1.15 million, we sold it at 1.257 million, 107,000 above valuation. And we're not talking about a very nice unit or whatever. This is in Loyang, next to Changi Prison. So you can see that the private resale demand, it's still very strong. Any private resale that you are looking at right now, it's all you definitely need to pay cash over valuation. And as a matter of fact, some resale houses right now are going at the same price as new launch prices. So a lot of buyers are saying, why buy something old, 5 years old, 8 years old, when I can buy something brand new and don't have to renovate? If I buy something that's resale, chances are I would have to renovate and spend a good 50, 60K on renovation. So this is something which is worth thinking about. So resale demand is still strong. All right. So next is, we talk about private resale. Next, we'll talk about the private new launch demand. So you see these two person here. So this is a screen grab from one of our intro video. All right. So I think you guys sign up because you saw intro video. So this was a screen grab. So in the video, Kelly was asking, guys, if you can buy something now, what would you buy today? So me very confidently hold up. You say, I'll buy dairy farm residences with it being a mixed development and all. You see my face very confident, right? Next thing you know, dairy farm sold out. 100% sold out. So the video was taken sometime in Chinese New Year period. I think
Yep, just after Chinese New Year.
yeah, day 5 or day 7.
Mm.
So that time when we were shooting the video, there were 50 plus 60 units left. So naturally I could say, oh, these units are good, blah, blah, blah. But by the time this masterclass came about last week, the whole dairy farm sold out. All right, so you could see the demand for a new launch is also very important. One point to note, you see I put dairy farm. Our dear friend here put copper at Newton. So Eric's recommendation is copper, haven't sell out. My recommendation sell out. So you know who's the real guru here, huh?
Hey, this is not competition, huh? Both of you are on the same team, huh?
Okay, okay, next. So these are some of the more popular launches in the past 12 to 18 months. Not too sure if you guys have heard about all these. Penrose, Eric bought one unit here. Normanton Park, Eric also bought one unit here. And then we have Canning Hill Piers, Midwood, Woodley, I bought, and Sengkang Grand. So basically you see everything is 98%, 93% sold, 86%, 98% sold. You know, everything is all 90 something percent sold. In Chinese, we see this is Manjiang Hong. Everything is red, everything is sold.
What I want to know is how come Eric bought so many units? Chef.
Well, that's a secret which next time we will talk about it.
Okay.
So
That's
Eric,
another masterclass, is it?
Eric's a very firm believer of property investment.
I can tell.
Unlike the rest of us who we will splurge on good food or luxury products or expensive cars, Eric just buy property. His poison is property and alcohol, 2 things. All right. So if you guys want to drink and want to talk property, look for Eric. Okay, so I gave these 6. I chose these 6 because they are very good mix. Penrose, Normanton Park, and maybe Woodley, they are RCR, rest of Core Central region. Whereas Canning Hill Piers at Clarke Quay, it's Core Central region in the middle. Midwood in the Hillview area and Sengkang Grand, of course, in Buangkok, Sengkang, are the outside Core Central region. So it's a very good mix, and you can see that everything is almost sold out. All right. So even the biggest residential development in Singapore, Treasures at Tampines, 2,200 units sold out months ago, more than 1.5 years, 1.5 years before TOP. I remember when we started selling Treasures at Tampines, there are buyers who come in, 哎呀，慢慢来啦，卖不完的 you know, TOP 都卖不完，2000多间呢，Auntie 卖完了 ，really sold out. Months and years before TOP, they sold out 2,200 units. So it's really a crazy market out there right now. At this point of time, you guys might be wondering, then everything sold out already, then buy what? You ask me buy now, buy what? Never mind. Later we tell you buy what. All right. So
Okay,
not.
I have a question though. Like based on this, you're talking about the sort of like there's so little left. Then, yeah. But what about like the supply, right? What about what else is available?
Yeah,
So-
I think that's a very good question because later I'm going to go through about the supply. So we'll not let the cat out of the bag first. We will see the supply of the entire Singapore market, how much it is, and whether it will be replenished.
All right.
Okay, I trust you, Eric. I trust that we're in your good hands.
Okay, so let me continue. So demand surge for resale condos, landed and new EC. So as you can see, from 2019 to 21, new private homes, including landed, has went up from 9,000 plus to 13,000 plus. Resale from 8,000 plus to 9,000 plus to 18,000 plus. So this COVID actually causes a very real demand for houses, especially resale, because they are moved in. A lot of people, after working from home, they realize 2-bedroom really don't cut it. They need 3 bedrooms, they need a study room. Young adults who was working from home, they have to spend 24 hours with their parents. They realize they cannot take it also. They need to buy something, they need to move out. So they're looking to buy a 1-bedder, 2-bedder. Everyone's looking to buy something. Be it the younger folks, middle-aged folks, older folks, everyone is buying, which resulted in this huge growth surge in 2021. All right. And this huge surge in 2021 is that also a reason why Eric will share a few that we are facing a supply shortage, housing supply shortage. All right. So even rental demand is very strong. So I'm sorry, I'm using basically everything which is from my own experience, my own sales, because
Hey,
I,
these are your own case studies, man. This is what works.
I don't want to plonk random numbers. These are all things which I've done recently. So this is a unit in Marina 1, 1033, the one in the Marina Bay area. So we signed a lease. This is a 2+ study. We signed a lease on 20th of June 2021 to this Brazilian guy at a rental rate of $5,600, as you can see here. So he signed, and then in the middle of this year, end February, he called me, say, James, I'm being posted back to New York, so I have to break the lease. So I told my landlord, I said, sure, fine, break lease, no problem. No choice, you need to go back. So they break lease, and then we found a new tenant starting on 1st April, which is next 2-3 days, at a new rate of $6,800. So from 5,006 to 6,008. So the landlord very happy. 1,200 more, almost 21% more in terms of rental returns. So they are definitely very happy. So we can see even the rental demand for houses, ready houses, it's very strong.
So I have a question then, because in my, obviously I don't know, I'm not the expert here, but my thought was, all the expats are gone or leaving, surely rental should be getting cheaper, no? I was under the impression that it was not the case.
What you just mentioned was around this period, was the June last year period, where we are still in the midst of a very bad COVID situation. Those that were leaving are leaving, so there wasn't many people moving around. All right, but come this year is a different ball game altogether. A lot of them that are still around will be around, and they are being forced to move because the house which they've been around for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, their landlord are looking to sell the house because of the good pricing. So they want to sell the house, then they are rendered homeless. So they need to find something.
Okay, fair. We have a question that's come in. What type of unit was this?
This was a 2+ study unit in Marina 1. A 2+ study unit in Marina 1 comes with a private lift. It's 1,163 square feet.
That is a huge chunk of change for rental, but I guess central location plays a huge part as well. But yeah, that's
if I'm a landlord, I think I would love you a lot.
Yeah, very good. So please call me next time, Eric. Next time your Penrose or Normanton want to rent, call me. Okay? Give you 朋友价. Okay, Kelly, do me a favor because I can't see the chat group. So if there's anyone chat, just give me a heads up. All right.
No worries. I'm monitoring all the calls.
Okay, so consistent price growth across all residential property segment. You can see the property price index from 2019 all the way to 2021 is on the upward trend. Okay, so this is for the past 3 years. Interesting thing to note is for the year 2021, 96% of our buyers are either local or PR, because there was no VTL in 2021. There wasn't a lot of foreigners flying in. So 96% local or PR, only 4% are foreigners who might already be here or they are buying virtually. So it's a very small percentage. So this is normally in other years, the foreign ownerships are higher.
I was just going to ask, so with VTLs now scrapped and more people coming back into Singapore, this is surely going to increase the demand, right?
Very correct. Let me show you something. So in this coming year, things are going to be very different. This article published March 29, 2 days ago, 1 day ago. China's rich are moving their money to Singapore. All right, so we are seeing that an increasing number of affluent Chinese are setting up family offices in Singapore. They are coming. The Chinese buyers are coming. Not just that, the Hong Kong buyers are already here. Then we are having the Indonesians, and interestingly, we are seeing a fair bit of Thai buyers also coming in. So China and Hong Kong buyers are going to be the biggest driver of demand in Singapore for the next 1 year or so. Looking at it, so couple of the Indonesians, they will add into the already high demand like we mentioned earlier. So those who have guessed right, demand going up, yes, you are right. Looking at the next 2 years at least, demand will definitely goes up. So back to our lesson. This is the original demand line, D1. Now that we conclude that demand has gone up, shift to the right. What does this mean here? Price point from P1 goes to P2. So prices would definitely goes up due to an increase in demand. Okay. So this concludes my part on demand. Then I will stop share now so Eric can continue his part on supply. All right.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Just whilst we're doing that little bit of a transition, then let's maybe just head over to our chat because we have a couple of questions that had come in. One of them being, as the government mandate, this is from Norman, as the government mandate is to ensure healthy gradual rise of housing prices over time, what will stop them from further cooling the market given the huge rise over the past 2 years?
I think the government is a very reasonable government, not that I'm pro PAP. So every single time when the market heats up, right, a cooling measure is being implemented so that we will slow down the growth of the property prices. So that's why it's called a cooling measure, not called Armageddon measure or end of the world measures.
So question then, do you think the cooling measures have actually done their part to cool the market sufficiently, or do you think there is more that could be done?
Okay, that's a good question. So later in my chart in supply, right, I will go through a little bit on the cooling measure and how
we leave that there.
Yes.
If you're going to talk about it, then we'll leave it there. Are you good to go with your next question, with your presentation? Fantastic. Let's take it away so that we don't detract from everything.
Norman, not to worry. We will actually reach out to answer your 1, 2, 3 questions. All right.
If we don't get to them in the presentation, we'll be in touch and then we'll chat to you about that as well. Okay, Eric, I'm really curious to see what you have for me because I'm really hoping that you're going to tell me that don't worry, it's okay, got supply, no problem, right?
So the works are in being done. So let's see. This is the supply chart for unsold private properties are in the pipeline. So it starts from 2017 all the way to 2021, and the data is actually very open. It's being drawn from actually URA. All right. Currently, we are here. We are at an all-time low of 14,154 units. The last time, right, we are so low is at 2017. So 2017, right, if I were to refresh a lot of people's memory, right, because of the low supply over here, there was a very big amount of en bloc being done in 2017 as well as 2018. In total, 8 billion was being done at 27 en bloc transactions in 2017. 10 billion was being done in 2018, comprising of 35 en bloc transactions. So the government, right, suddenly got shocked because in total there is close to 19 or 20 billion of en bloc being done. In July 2018, they implemented a cooling measure. And that's a very good question you asked just now, Norman. So at that point of time, right, the ABSD for the developer increases significantly from 15% to 30%. And then it slows down the en bloc process. And similarly, the loan to valuation is also being reduced from, if used to be able to borrow 80% of the total value of the purchase to 75% of the total value of purchase. This actually reduces the borrowing capability of every individual, as well as to increase the CPF or cash outlay being required for every single purchase. So if, let's say, the government did not implement such measures, there will be more hot money in the market and the volume will be higher. The prices will also be higher. So the government has actually learned the mistake. In fourth quarter 2021, you can see that we are at the 15-year all-time low. In fact, we don't have data before 2006. I personally think that it's all-time low in the history of Singapore, having only 14,000 units. So the government did a preemptive measures in December 2021. That's a few months ago. You can remember, right? We have another round of cooling measures. The cooling measures increases the ABSD of our developer from 30% to 40%. So it's a very clear sign the Singapore government or URA is telling all the developers, please consider wisely before you do an en bloc of a specific development. And from that point onwards, if you haven't watched our video, please, you can go back to our YouTube channel. You can see our en bloc series. We will have a little bit of sharing. And of course, at that point of time, right, in December 2021, our TDSR threshold is also reduced by 5 percentage points. Meaning to say that last time, if you earn a certain amount, you'll be able to borrow a bigger sum of money. Now you need to earn more. This is also to reduce the leveraging effect of individuals. So all these things are being done behind the scenes. I think we are in good hands. I think the $1 million question is, would there be another round of cooling measures? Would there be more than one round of cooling measures? That I really don't know. It depends on the market. If we
I was going to ask, aren't you an all-seeing guru? Come on, Eric. Yes or no?
If the volume remains high, I think it will definitely come, in my point of view.
Okay, from the way we look at it, the government in the recent cooling measures, they bring down the TDSR total debt servicing ratio, which will affect the loan. They bring up the ABSD amount for foreigners. They bring up the ABSD amount for developers, making it more expensive for foreigners to buy, making it more expensive for developers to en bloc or take new sites. But it does not really affect the Singaporean first-time owners.
Okay, so basically, if you're a first-time owner, you're looking at getting something brand new and you're maximizing like whatever you can from the government, you're pretty much okay. But if you might be looking for an investment property,
yes,
if you are a foreign investor, that's when you might have an issue.
Correct. So in this December round of cooling measures, I don't think it has a huge impact on the first-time owners, or rather people who are buying one property. Like Norman might ask, what do you think can be done or might be done? The biggest thing that would affect property sales, something that Eric and I are very concerned about, is actually the LTV, loan to value ratio. Last time during my parents' day, it was 90%. You can loan up to 90%. Then it was 85%. And then before 2017 it was 80%. After 2017 it was 75%. If now it drops to 70%, I can tell you prices confirm will come down.
Okay, so Sarah's just asking, what about local investors looking at a second property? This I can foresee you being at a slight disadvantage, yes, but then maybe you can get a bit creative with how you're purchasing.
So Sarah, I definitely would not recommend or want you to pay the ABSD. If you are saying that I want to buy and I want to pay the ABSD, why government has increased the ABSD to 17%? Because that's roughly the amount of money you are looking to make over the next 3-4 years. They want to wipe out all your potential earnings. So as an investor, you don't want to park money there and see your money get wiped out, or rather your potential capital appreciation get wiped out. So it doesn't make sense. I'd rather you put the money in other investment vehicles like stocks or crypto or bonds or whatsoever, not in property.
Okay, so maybe we can get you to chat with Sarah and see how else she could be investing, and also how else she can go about her property purchases, just in the interest of time, so that we can let Eric continue with his presentation.
So you're basically just like Eric, who is a property investor. You know, like you're thinking why Eric, one person, can buy 2 property. Eric will share, we would actually contact you and let you know his secret on how he buy to actually Eric got 3. All right, it's a secret, Eric.
Okay, don't give away everything.
Please do not reveal my entire portfolio because it's a recording.
So let's let Eric take that offline with Sarah. Eric, well, let's get you to continue because I really want to know a little bit more about this supply issue and what's going to be done.
So fundamentally, we have 14,000 units being left in Q4 2021. Let's take a look at how much uncompleted projects or developments do we sell every single year. So if you look at this line, right, on a 10-year average, we will averagely sell around 11,700 units every single year. So if you were to break it down into numbers, the current supply can only support a 1.2 year of demand. And that's very, very low, right? So you can see that even Chinese New Asia put out an article in 2022, there is a shrinking private housing supply and there's a swelling rental demand. I think this is a very well-known thing, and those who are actually looking to rent or those who are looking to buy, you definitely feel some frustration because there's definitely a supply crunch at the current moment of time. But we bring you good news. But of course, every good news, later I'll tell you the bad news also. Let's take a look at what is the good news that I'm going to bring across to you. So for existing supply being very low, right, the Singapore government had actually pledged an increase in government land sale to the developers. There will be a 35% increase in government land sale based on January 2022 announcement. So from now till 2023, mean you say that these sites are not being bidded yet. They are just being announced to be inside the list. They will be bidded eventually. So the 14,000 that we have are those who are existing plus being bidded, then is added in. So we are adding another 8,300 units.
Which will bring us to around 22,000.
Yes.
So Eric, what you're saying is that right now we are having a shortfall. We are at all-time low of 14,000 available units. And to combat this problem, the government will be releasing new sites, new land that will contribute to around 8,300 over units to the existing inventory of unsold units, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
But it will be gradually over time from now till 2023. So that will increase our supply to a 2-month demand trend. So just now I mentioned the demand every year is around 11,000. If we increase, we can support 2 years of demand.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay. So good news, the supply increase. So we're going to have more choices. So what's the bad news? The bad news is every single time there is a very strong demand in housing and the supply is very, very low, the developers will bid very aggressively for land. You can see over the history, in 2017, right, our land prices on average for OCR is around $700. When it comes 1 year later in 2018, right, it increased close to 20% to $844. And now our recent bid, right, in Lentor as well as Ang Mo Kio has increased around 37.5% to $1,161. So while the supply increases, the demand remains or increases also, the opportunity that the developer can see to make money, right, suddenly becomes very, very obvious. And they bid very aggressively for new lands. So for future new lands, we think that the prices will remain high or even higher. Right?
Hang on a minute. So you basically saying that is the government inflating all of these prices? Like,
okay,
I know we've got a land shortage, but like this
fundamentally, right, this is an open market. So the price of the land that's being bidded is based on the tender being put out by the developers. So the developers, if there's a very aggressive bidding, they will have to bid higher. So this is based on an open market demand.
Okay, so Kelly, I wouldn't say the government are the one that is inflating the market. Like Eric said, the tender is up to you to bid. But when the government release land, of course, at the back of their head, where do you think the $6 billion COVID plan to help the Singaporeans come from? It comes from the national coffers, national reserve, and it must be topped up somehow or another. I'm not saying government's earning money from it, but they need to top up the national coffers. And land sale is one of the fastest way to actually top up the national coffers. Eric will share with you how much land was sold in 2021.
So this is still the people's money. So the more they come back, the better for everybody. because everybody's equal in front of the coffers, right? So land prices definitely increase over time. This is no doubt about it, be it whether it's inflation or be it is because of a high demand or a decrease in supply. But let's take a look. Let's take a look at some of the historical records that we have. Let's do a comparison. We have, if you're familiar with Sengkang, near Sengkang, right, there is actually a LRT called Tanggam LRT, and with there, right, there is actually two developments. One is called High Park Residence. It's a super mega project. It's around 1,390 units. Land was bid at 2014. So that time, right, the land bid was around $443. Dirt cheap. Now EC also don't have this kind of price.
So to give you guys context, the land was bidded in 2014 and it started selling in 2015.
2015, yes.
So the project was launched in 2015, open for sale. So it was selling from 2015 all the way to 2016 to early 2017. So that was the period where it was being, the show flat was around to sell for, okay?
All right. So we have another similar plot that is up there. The land price is obviously higher at $517. With the difference of only $70, which one will you buy? Which one would you all buy? Will you all buy a High Park Residence or will you all buy a Park Botania? I think the choice.
Let's get you guys to tell us in the chat. Write HP if you think High Park, or PB if you think Park Botania. I will also be putting in my votes in a second. But this is a tricky one, guys. This is a tricky one.
So let me explain a bit of what Eric is actually talking about. So in 2015, High Park was launched. All right, and it was sold. It was still selling in 2015, 2016, and towards 2017, it was the tail end of it. All right. But for Park Botania, they bought the land in 2016 and started selling in 2017, which meant that in 2017, you could either buy the remaining units in High Park, or you could choose to buy a brand new, just launched Park Botania. So if we could go back in time to 2017, guys, what would you buy? Remaining units left in High Park, which is technically you are already paying at a higher price compared to your neighbors who bought in 2015, or would you want to join the new guys at Park Botania in 2017?
You see, I put High Park at first, but now I'm thinking maybe Park Botania, because earlier on what you're saying is also like, you know, you've got more options, you've got more views to choose from. I don't know, there's a plethora of options, right?
So guys, what do you think? High Park or Park Botania? Park Botania. Park Botania.
Yeah, you see, that's where I'm kind of swaying to at the moment as well.
That's why you're an influencer. You can influence people.
All right, like if I just stuck with my High Park, then we would be getting. See, AIM says High Park. I don't know. I'm so confused now.
Okay, so we have some High Park, we have some Park Botania. So Eric,
let me take it away. So if let's say, if you were to choose High Park, right, you probably, you know, have bought it at $900 per square feet at the launch at 2015, or you could have bought a three-bedder that is left over in 2017 at $1,000 per square feet. But if you were to have wait for Park Botania,
which was maybe 5-6 months later,
yes, you will have to pay a premium of $1,200 per square feet. And this situation, right, is very, very similar to what we are currently right now, because we have a supply that is very small or limited, but we have a new supply that is coming in the future. So whether you want to choose now or you want to choose in the future, right, is totally up to you also.
So basically, if we think back to James, what you were showing us just now with the remaining flats left in those locations that you'd highlighted, it's either do we choose from the remaining ones there, or do we hold out for this potential 8,000 or so that Eric was alluding to, that we could hopefully get in the next 2 years. But then you're going to come into this sort of situation where if you'd bought originally, you'd be paying that 900 PSF. If you buy from that leftover amount, you're not getting the pick of the
papers, yeah,
pick of the crop, but you're paying a 10% premium as opposed to paying an additional
20%.
20% after that if you wait. So, long story short, buy the balance and go high park.
Yes. So this is something which we'll be sharing a bit later. As Eric rightly pointed out, Park Botanic and High Park, they are similar products, right next door to each other. So there's really nothing to compare against. It really makes more sense to bite the bullet and buy now than wait for something, because I'm not too sure in the chat, people who are here today, are you guys looking to buy something now, or are you going to buy something in the future? Are you looking to buy a resale or looking to buy a new launch? A lot of people are actually this year are actually waiting for some new launches. Piccadilly Grand in the Farrer Park areas coming up. A lot of people in the east are actually waiting for Tanah Merah, also known as Seneca Residences. People are also waiting for this new one at the East Coast area, Arthur Road, Live at MB. So a lot of our buyers are thinking, now the thing, I don't really catch my fancy. I want to wait for these new ones that are coming up. But from this High Park and Park Botanic example, it really shows that it doesn't make sense to wait. Tanah Merah is going to launch at around 1,900 to 2,000 PSF. At the kind of price, there are
My heart just stopped a little bit there. Are you serious?
Yes. Later, that's going to be the launch price. So it really don't make a lot of sense to wait, unless you are telling me, I absolutely love Tanah Merah. My parents are there. I want that. Okay, Bopian, you need to buy there. But if not, it really don't make a lot of sense to actually wait for all these new ones when there are other choices around. To give you context, Tanah Merah, if they're going to launch it sometime in June, middle of June, at around 1,900 to 2,000 PSF. Penrose, which is at Aljunied, a lot nearer to town. Right now, you could get the same thing for around 1,800, 1,900. So Aljunied, Tanah Merah, why wait? Why not just buy the Aljunied one now? This is so much nearer. So this is what we are trying to get at.
Okay.
So land price definitely play a very important part in the costing of the new developments. So the higher the land cost, naturally, they have no choice. They have to launch higher, because all developers are businessmen. They will not sell at a loss. Maybe let's take a look at also, maybe James will share with us, what are the other considerations they will take account to the pricing of the new developments. Okay, let me share.
So basically, let me share. When we talk about rising prices in Singapore, of course, there's the demand and supply. Supply side, Eric talks about a shortage of supply. But why would prices still rise? Because there's another very important component that causes prices in Singapore to rise. Anyone can guess what is that other component that would causes prices to rise in Singapore? Would you like to make a wild guess?
GST.
Inflation, of course. GST, of course. Anything? Something else that will cause prices to rise is a direct impact on housing prices. No? HK.
What's HK? Oh, Hong Kong. I think just Hong Kong.
Hong Kong.
Yeah, Hong Kong.
Hong Kong, yeah.
You're very specific.
Okay, let me give you guys the answer. Hold on. So it's actually rising construction prices. So just a quick sharing session on how the new launch developers launch their asking price. Like why Tanah Merah going to launch at 1,900 to 2,000 PSF. We do simple math. Let me get a calculator. Tanah Merah, they acquired the land for 1,100.
Close to that.
Around $1,100 in land. They need to pay a 25% non-remissible ABSD, which brings us to around $1,370. And then they need to do marketing fee, they need to build show flat, they need to print flyers, brochures, they need to pay the agent commission. That's around $50. per square feet. That's 1,420. Then there's construction cost. Construction cost previously for a suburbs is around $350. But now with construction costs going up, let's just put $350 in construction cost. That's 1,770. This is their cost price, their break-even price, 1,770. And as Eric mentioned, they are developers, they are businessmen, the business owners. They need to make money. In the heydays, developers are making around 20%. Right now, they're making around 10 to 15%. So if I add another, maybe say 12% to it, we are looking at around 1982, around 1982 PSF as launch price. This will be the average launch price. Of course, for the small units, you will cross the 2,000 PSF mark. There's bigger units will be around the 1,008, 1,009 PSF mark. So this is a fact. These are numbers which the numbers which I just shared are exactly the way that developers count on how the launch price is going to be. They're going to take this proposal, go to the bank and say, look, I'm going to sell it at this price. The bank will then finance based on this price. So they can't sell below cost price. So a lot of people say, 哎呀，卖不出怎么办? Developer 掉价钱. Not really, because they cannot drop. They have committed this amount to the bank in order to finance their construction and everything. They drop below their cost price. The bank would be concerned, hey, you are selling below your cost. How are you going to continue your repayment? So the bank will actually stop the financing. So even though 卖不出, they can't sell, they can't drop prices. So the bare minimum is around 1,770. So if you can buy something very close to cost price, then you are very safe because you know that developers will not drop things any further. All right. So this is some of the construction costs in Singapore. So construction costs in Singapore, we actually consist of two very major elements. One being manpower, foreign workers, the Indian workers, the Bangla workers. So Lawrence Wong, when COVID mentioned, no doubt that construction costs will rise with COVID-19 testing for workers ramped up. So basically, you do a lot of tests for the workers. The dorms, last time you can have 12 workers to one dorm. Now you have 7 workers, 8 workers to one dorm, meaning they need the construction firms need to get more dorms for the workers, which means their cost went up. Firms most worried about rising costs, including for manpower. Firms offering higher pay due to manpower crunch. So you can see manpower shortage, manpower crunch is causing manpower cost to all goes up. The next thing, raw materials. High material price to remain a drag on Singapore's construction this year. All right, record high commodity prices in the construction sector to persist. These are all in 2022 news. So if manpower costs goes up, construction cost goes up. Now with the Ukraine war, petrol price goes up, logistic cost goes up, construction costs in general would go up. So like Eric mentioned, there is the cost of land, of government land sales goes up, construction goes up. How can prices come down? It's not possible. These land sales and construction costs are the biggest component of a building. So when these two are on the upward trend, there's absolutely no way prices can come down. Even if the developer 不要赚钱, don't want to make money, they cannot, because the land cost and the construction is out of their control. What they can only control is their
I think just to cut in there, I think this is also quite an important point, and it's sort of reinforced by the sale that you made, nicely renovated HDB flat above asking price. And I guess it's also the reason, I mean, just to put our personal spin on it as well, there's been sort of interest in our place because they're like, oh, place done up already. You don't have to worry about the construction prices. But it's also one of the reasons why I'd be so hesitant to move, because whilst I enjoyed the process of designing and doing up our place, like the cost of doing that again would definitely be a lot higher for us to do it again if we were presented with the same situation.
To give you context,
different world.
Yes.
From 2.5, 3 years ago when we bought and started renovating.
So how much you spend then, expect to spend a good 20 to 25% more for the same amount of work. So I believe all of you would have friends or family around you who are undergoing construction or renovating their house right now, and will tell you the same thing. Very expensive now. Construction very expensive now. Metal is very expensive, raw materials, everything is very expensive. So you are seeing not just on the micro level, on the macro level, everything is going to go up. All right. So you think what very land cost goes up, construction cost goes up. What's next? Ta-da! Our dear friend here. GST also going to go up in 2 stages in 2023 and 2024. So this is the point where I asked my father, how can prices come down? My father belongs to the old school of thought, thinking 1,000 PSF is very high already. So he keeps saying, 一定会下, prices sure come down. But I'm telling him, every day Sunday dinner, I'll be arguing with him, how to come down? It's not that me as a property agent being very bullish, go up, go up, go up, every day goes up. I am not. Eric and I, we are not agents that are just telling you the good things. Sure go up, sure go up, sure make money, sure money. No, we are not talking about making money here. We're talking about there's absolutely no way that prices can come down because developers cannot lose money. Even if they don't want to make money, they have to sell at break even. And even their break even cost is going up higher and higher and higher. So how to sell lower? I also don't know how to sell lower. All right. So I think this concludes the demand and selling part. So we would more or less agree. I hope you guys will agree with us that prices would not come down. In fact, it would go up. I hope we have done enough to convince you guys of our, I would say a theory of our opinion that it would definitely not come down. All right, so this is where we reach the most interesting part of the segment of today's session. James and Eric, you all keep saying go up, go up, go up. Then how to buy? Okay. My choice on, instead of why buy now, we have a now buy what?
I like it.
Now buy something that is available. This is my choice. Foret at Bukit Timah. The appeal of freehold. You guys have.
We already know that James is a freehold fanatic.
Yes.
Old school, huh?
Have you guys can you put in the chat? Have you heard of Foret? I believe Sarah might have. If she's an investor, she might have heard of Foret. Norman maybe also. Have you guys heard of Foret?
To be honest, I don't typically look at anything in Bukit Timah because I also automatically assume A, expensive, and B, I'm an East Sider through and through.
So I hope you guys have heard of this because as of now we are, I think that 70% sold for this. This is, yes, it's near Beauty World. It's near Beauty World. Let me show you. Okay, let me show you where it is. And Sarah, I would share more about this and why I think it's a good choice. All right. Okay. Wait, This is the site, Foret at Bukit Timah, over here. If you guys are familiar with Beauty World area, this is the Bukit Timah Food Center. Okay, to give you context, this is Beauty World MRT. Okay, so Foret over here, there's a bus stop here, 1 bus stop, 2 bus stop, 3 bus stop, maybe 4 bus stops, 3 bus stops. You actually reach Beauty World MRT. Walking will take you like 15 minutes. I don't advise you walk. 3 bus stops away.
Walk, save the planet.
Yeah. Bus is already moving whether you're on board or not lah. All right, so you're 3 stops away from Beauty World MRT, and Beauty World is undergoing a massive transformation. Maybe Norman, you know about it. Right now, whereby there are a lot of new changes. They are upgrading the whole area lah. So there's going to be a integrated mall and bus interchange and everything over here. Okay, which brings us to this huge star over here. This plot of land over here, all right, this big plot of land here has just been sold. A government land sale. It has just been sold. Okay, just to give context, from here to here is 1 km. 1 km. 1.03 billion bid backs Jalan Anak Bukit site for Far East organization. So you see, remember I talking about topping up the national coffers. They spent 6 billion outright last year. 1 billion settle already. 1 billion coming already. Very fast one. So 1 billion for this site. All right. So this is the artist's impression of how it will look like. So just now that star is actually here. And the land itself was won by Far East for 1 billion, 1.03. So the new residential project at Jalan Anak Bukit is expected to yield about 845 units. And they expect the unit to be launched for sale at around 2003 to 2005 PSF. All right, 2003, 2005 PSF. This is comparatively higher to the median price of recent residential projects in the area. So this is age prop. This is not a type out one. So you see here, these are some of the comparable in the vicinity. Foret at Bukit Timah is freehold compared to all the 99 around here. Okay, Royal Green is quite far already. So all 99, Foret, one and only freehold, rose among the thorns. All right, distance to site 1 km. Median unit price 1996, around 2000 PSF. So you compare 2000 PSF to 2003 and 2005. This one existing, can buy already, freehold, 1 km away, compared to this one, haven't launched yet. When launched, going to be 2003, 2005. This one is leasehold, 99 year. Why cannot buy? Can buy, freehold, 1 km away, cheaper than leasehold. You think, why is it possible? It's possible because this land was acquired at a much cheaper cost than this land. And this land already built halfway when construction cost hasn't risen so crazily. All right. So this is a 2-bedroom in Foret. Nothing fancy, dumbbell layout. 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, attached bath, balcony, and closed kitchen for 2 bedroom. That's very rare nowadays. For normally 2 bedrooms, you have an open kitchen. All right. Even my normal, my Woodley, my 3 bedroom is open kitchen. All right. And then you still have a bomb shelter over here. So all this for how much? 1.5 million, 743 square feet, which brings us to around $2,000 PSF, which is what we calculate just now. So can buy? I think can buy lah. Quite safe considering your immediate neighbors are going to be a lot more expensive.
Okay, let's move on then and see what else we got.
Okay, so this is my choice. Eric, you want to?
Yeah. Let me show you my choice. So my choice, right? I think if you have watched the video, my choice is definitely Copper and Newton. Some of them will pronounce it as Copa. So this is a very special project because to me, there is a lot of opportunities for purchase in the CCR. This project, Copper, was located in District 9. District 9 that is very near to Orchard. So if you can see over this map here, right? This is the Newton Circus. And this is the famous Newton Food Center. If you have watched some new movies, right? This is where the
Crazy Rich Asian.
Oh yes, Crazy Rich Asian was from. And directly across it, right, is the Newton Interchange. So we have a good piece of land over here. But of course, this land, right, is from a government land sale. This is a 99 leasehold property. Right? So they have very good layout for 3 bathers, 4 bathers, and 5 bathers. I understand the quantum might be a little bit larger, but for District 9, right, normally the people who actually stay here, apart from rental, are actually homestay because Copper is actually very near to 3 famous schools. Number 1, ACS Junior. Number 2, ACS Primary. Number 3, SJI. So if you have a son, right, I think it's a big plus. So you look at take a look at the layout.
It should be shifting to Newton.
You can.
That's a good choice, yeah. So you go in, you have an enclosed kitchen. There's a bomb shelter here. 2 bedrooms on one side. The greatest strength is here. the master bedroom. The master bedroom is a lot larger than most of the new launch in the market. It comes with a big area, which you can put a king bed. And for the ladies, right, there's a walk-in wardrobe. So this is around 1,055 square feet and is around 2.7 million. But the per square feet, right, is only 2,005. The general trend for District 9 will be currently 3,000 to 3,005 at this moment of time for freehold. So a leasehold that is 2,005, right, I personally think it will be undervalued, and there is definitely a room for upside in the future.
Okay, interesting. We actually have a couple of questions and we sort of like looking for recommendations in the East. In the interest of time, I'm going to get you to get in touch with maybe Sarah and Tess to just educate them on maybe if you guys can pull up some options for Eastsiders. If anyone else is keen on some recommendations for places like this in the East, drop us a message, let us know, and we will get to you. Kathy has a question for you. Signature Park beside Foret is much bigger in size for the same quantum but older. Would it still be a good investment compared to Foret?
Okay, so I think Sarah's question is very much linked to Katie's question. So we are definitely, this is something that a lot of buyers are actually have to deal with, size versus price. Definitely units are getting more expensive because and getting smaller in size. This is like inflation. Last time $2 can buy chicken rice. Now chicken rice $3, $4. If you go Chatterbox, it's $16. So everything is more and more expensive. It's not that the developer purposely make things small, but the fact of the matter is that with land cost going up, construction going up, if I were to make it at the same 1,200 square feet for a 3-bedroom, a lot of people will be priced out of a home. So in this unfortunate circumstances, in order to make housing still very reachable, affordable to the mass majority, they have to cut down in size. But that being said, not to be overly concerned, I always tell my buyers not to be overly fixated with the numbers, the 980 square feet or the 1055 square feet. A lot of people say, yeah, last time, yes. But last time we have a lot of wastage. Last time we have houses which are slanted balconies. Like we have houses which have bay windows, massive balconies. We have bomb shelters.
I would like to highlight something that I just discovered. Say if you're going to purchase and you're worried about that balcony space, like I literally just discovered the whole wonder that is Zip Track, and the fact that you can really sort of enclose that additional space, and it's allowed by a lot of condominiums. In fact, they're the #1 recommended blind company to use to try and enclose your area. So a lot of people do that because it stops aircon seepage and stuff like that, while still allowing you to utilize that space, and so bringing that outdoor space indoors. And then you come, and it begs that sort of conversation, and I think we may have touched on this in previous masterclasses when we talked about sort of like resale versus new development. The older units are always going to be bigger, but then you're coming into, if it's an older leasehold, then you're going to come into lease decay. If you're talking about older freehold places, then yeah, sure, but you're going to get a bigger size for sure. But then you're talking about extensive renovation if you go in, and as we know, the construction costs are going to go up. So I think there are a lot of other things that you have to weigh when you're talking about getting an older unit versus getting a newer unit, which might be smaller but lends you a lot of convenience, and price ends up being sort of all bundled in. There are a lot of other things factored in at the moment. But it really does come down to what your specific needs are. So if you guys are keen, then I'm sure we'll be able to get James and Eric to sit down with you to chat through. Sarah, Tess, I'm going to get James and Eric to get in touch with you guys with recommendations for the East, because I'm conscious that it's now 9:20. It's a Wednesday night. We want to get on with the rest of our evening. Sorry, there you go. I've got a very jet-lagged child passing me ice cream. Thank you, darling. So yes, recommendations will come your way. And if you've got any other questions, James, Eric, can you just type in your numbers in the chat box? Sure. Just so that people can reach out to you if you want. I know that you are going to be calling these guys as well, just to follow up and find out if you've got any other questions or queries. We've got more masterclasses coming your way, so stay tuned to our Instagram page. We'll be coming up with all the details for the next one very, very soon. But I am going to wrap this up. The question we asked was, why buy now? And the answer is, the demand is high, the supply is short, prices are only going to go up. You can't buy at prices previously. So it's either what you can purchase now or in the future. And right now it's looking like the prices are only set to go higher, and the options are going to be a lot more limited. So thank you very much for joining us, guys. James, Eric, thank you for sharing. Everyone for joining us here tonight.
One last bit. For everyone who are still here,
go on.
We are all East Siders also. Eric and I, East Siders. So we are all East Siders, Sarah. We are all here. Tess, we are all East Siders. So I know this area very well. I grew up here my whole life. Okay. So Sarah, I got your number. We will actually reach out to you and everyone else. Norman, a lot of questions, interesting questions. I hope we can give you a call back soon. If we have your number, actually we can give you a call back soon to answer all your
Norman will get back to you on the answers. Sarah, Tess will get back to you with some East recommendations. And everybody else, if you've got any other questions, please let us know. Keep in touch. The doors are always open for you guys to get in touch with us as well.
Katie, your signature about question, we will also want to have talk with you. Cheryl, same thing. We'll give you a call to see if you have anything you're happy with. All right. Thank you guys so much.
Fabulous, guys. Thank you so much. And we'll catch you guys again soon. Good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks for joining.
A lot of people are East Siders.
Yeah.
East Siders. Lessons also a lot on East Siders.
This is law of attraction, and you're all East Siders, you will attract all East Siders.
East side, best side.
Hey, okay. People say East side, best side, but let's be real. It should be West side, best side, because East and best don't actually rhyme.
Okay.
Like, this drives me nuts every single time. Every time someone says, what, East side, best side? I'm like, it doesn't rhyme. It's West side, best side. But never mind. There we go. And with that, we're done.
Back side.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everyone is out.
Okay, let's stop.
Sarah seems